Hi and welcome everybody. Today we're going to unbox and assemble this Echelon smart bike. It's the Connect EX-5, and I bought this one off of their website directly. The kids got a hold of the box there and implemented some of their handiwork on the labeling, so don't mind that. That was just the kids. But let's go ahead and open this up and see what we've got. So really you can get everything out of the box here in any way that you choose to. I chose to open the bottom of the box, which you're seeing there, kind of tuck the flaps back so that I could stand the bike up. That's the bottom of the bike, so standing it up like that while it's still in the box, so I could do that really cool reveal right there. So really you can get everything out as you choose. That's what everything looks like in the styrofoam and wrapped up in the plastic. You'll notice I cut away some of the plastic around that post there. You actually don't need to because you can't get it all out anyway until a later step, which we'll show. But that's all your pieces unwrapped, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to pull the Allen wrench, the larger one, out of the pack there, and we're going to loosen 1, 2, and then 3 screws on that side, and in that order, okay? And that is the larger Allen wrench or hex key that is provided. And once those are loosened a bit, you can pull that packaging out of the way. Same on the other side. Notice those screws or bolts are sticking out a little bit. You see that? And we want to loosen those so that they aren't sticking out anymore. So make sure that they're out of view on that inside portion there so that they're all coming back. You could take them all the way out, but you really don't need to. Next up, we want to loosen things up there at the front. You see the tool that they provide is the wrench, and then again using another hex key that fits the bolt there. And we're going to remove those on either side of the seat post. And now we've got a couple of bolts at the bottom rear that need to be loosened up again with the hex key. And at that point, everything is loosened sufficiently so we can remove that frame cover. That's just packaging. We don't need that for the bike. Next, we're going to cut off that zip tie and remove those supports there. They just kind of kick out of the way, kick the rear one towards the back and the front one towards the front. Now we're going to move up to the front of the bike and put on the front foot. First, we need to remove these bolts, and you actually are not going to use them again, so you can get rid of them. But remove that piece, and then your foot slides into place. Again, it's not those 2 bolts you took out before, no. It's now 2 long bolts that are in the packaging, okay? So put those in place and righty-tighty them up and use the hex key to tighten them into place. You might want to kind of lift and jiggle the bike and the foot a little bit because there's a bit of weight pushing down on it. If it's not aligned correctly, you might kind of point things in the wrong direction. So just kind of jiggle and work it a little bit to get it lined up. Now we're going to go back to the rear of the bike, the same sort of thing. Remove the plate that was there, put in the foot, and use the 2 long bolts that are provided. Tighten those up, kind of lift and jiggle the bike a bit, make sure everything's settled in nicely. Next, we're going to put the seat on. The seat goes on that seat post just like that. We can use the wrench tool that's provided and just tighten up the screw on each side. It takes a little bit of tightening. I tightened a little bit more after the video, but yeah, just make sure that's on secure. If you need to loosen that knob and move it forward so that you can have good, easy access to those 2 holes, which are for the dumbbell holder to be screwed into. So these are a couple of shorter, kind of smaller screws compared to what we've used before. They go right in there, and we use the Phillips screwdriver that is on the opposite end of that hex key to tighten that into place. Next, we're going to work on the handlebar post. There's some wiring here that we need to connect, and be mindful to not lose it down into the post. So they're twist tied to hold in place. Notice the direction that things go there. You want the numbers to be facing the rider, and you see the handlebar post kind of point that direction. So keep the twist ties on for now and connect those 2 cables. Once they're connected, you can feel a little more confident you're not going to lose it down into the bike, all right? And a couple of things. You want to loosen the adjuster that's there. Okay, so we're going to spin it counterclockwise so that that part of the inside goes out of the way, and that makes room for our post to be able to go in. Now is a good time to undo the twist ties, get them out of the way, and now that cord can go down into the post, into the frame of the bike, and the post can go into the frame like that. And now we can tighten it up to hold that post into place. Okay, next comes the next portion of the handlebar support. There is a twist tie that is also holding onto a cable. So pay attention here and make sure that you've got a hold of the cable, that you don't lose it on the inside. And again, we're going to connect first and then remove the twist ties second. Okay, so have those cable connectors ready, put them together. Now you're confident that you're not going to lose one down into the hole or anything. And go ahead and take the twist ties off. Notice the direction this piece goes. You don't want that to be upside down. That wouldn't really work out too well, especially when it comes time to put your iPad on the holder there. So put it in that direction, and this also is where the handlebars themselves go on. There's a couple, rather one, hole on the bottom there where your knob is going to screw into, and that adjusts to allow your handlebars to move forward and backwards. Okay, that same adjuster for the handlebars there. So we're going to move it backwards to allow room for accessing those two holes to tighten up the handlebar and the iPad holder there. These couple of screws are a little bit shorter and a particular thickness for the washers to go onto. So match them up, right screws with the washers, and adjust the device holder there so that the holes line up, and go ahead and tighten those bolts into place. Next comes the water bottle holder. It was surprising to me that this was a big piece of plastic. I thought that maybe they would use metal, the same as the dumbbell holders in the back. But no, this is a big piece of plastic, and it's secured with a couple of screws on the bottom side there that tighten up with the Phillips screwdriver on the other end of the hex key. And next here is the assembly of the pedals. So they're packaged together like that. You just kind of pull them apart. You've got a left and a right. It does matter which one goes on which side. They are labeled. Remember, on bikes, exercise bikes and road bikes and everything, the left pedal threads in an opposite direction of what you're used to. So it's actually going to be clockwise if you're looking onto the nut to loosen it. And so you want to remove that nut on the end, and then you can spin the pedal into place. Notice I'm going counterclockwise for the left, and then that nut goes back on the other side. And there you go. That is opposite direction of what you would typically expect. Use those two tools, one on each side there, to tighten that into place. Now we're over on the right side of the bike. And if you can get that nut off by hand, great. If not, like you saw on the other one, you're going to use those tools to loosen it up enough to remove it, and then put it on the exercise bike. Tighten that one up going clockwise. Clockwise as well on the nut. Use the tools, tighten them up, and your pedals will be ready to go. Last step then is to connect the power. It connects to the rear of the bike, and just plug into your regular wall outlet. When you do, you'll hear a little bit of a humming noise, and you'll see that blue light start blinking. That's how you'll know that you are plugged in, and you are ready to go. You're ready to use this bike. There's that red tag there that I haven't removed yet, but yep, I can remove that, and everything is set. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment below if it was helpful to you, and enjoy the bike.